Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Seth Sharma Beitel, and I hope you guys are having a blessed day so far. So I want to talk about this scripture today. It's Galatians 1 verses 10. So let's talk about the meaning of this scripture. For do I now persuade man? This question highlights a fundamental choice. Is Paul seeking the approval of God or humans? Or do I seek to please men? This reinforces the question, making it clear that Paul is primarily not motivated by pleasing others. And Paul says in the scripture, for if I for if I was still trying to please people, I would not be a true servant of Christ. Paul makes a strong statement right here. This is a really strong statement. If he was still trying to, Paul's making it clear that if he was still trying to please people, he would not be a servant of Christ. So that's the meaning for Galatians 1:10, right? So yeah, Paul is making it clear that if he was still trying to please people, that he would not be a servant of Christ. Because let me just say that no one else's approval matters. Only God's approval matters, right? We don't need anybody else's approval. Only God's approval matters. We need to get out of this mindset of trying to please others, right? Trying to, lower our values to fit their sinful standards, right? Because what we do sometimes is that, we do these things so that we can fit in with others, right? And stuff as well too, right? But we need to stop doing those things. We need to stop doing those things, right? And stuff as well. We need to stop trying to be pleasers of people. What's most important is pleasing God. We got to ask ourselves, are we we got to ask ourselves, are we pleasing people or are we pleasing God? The most important thing is pleasing God. And growing up as teens, right? We might try to want to fit in with other people and stuff as well. We might try to want to fit in with the crowds and stuff as well too. But we must remember, Christ didn't call us to fit in. He called us to stand out, to be the difference, to be the light, bro, right? Pleasing God is truly what matters. We need to stop trying to please people, right? We need to stop trying to please people. What's most important is if God is pleased. A lot of times as teens, we try to please others, right? And stuff as well too. We try to please others and stuff as well too, And growing up too, there's always those, crowds of, there's always those type of people, right? Growing up and stuff as well too, right? And if you don't do the things that they do, right, you are not considered cool enough, or you're not worth as much if you don't do the things they do. If you don't do the sinful things that, they do, if you do not, participate in the evil things that they do, right? Somehow you are not as cool enough or worth, as much, right? Which is totally not right. But we need to stop trying to please other people. Stop trying to please, if you have, stop trying to please your friends. Stop trying to please all these other people, right? Focus on pleasing God. That's what truly matters, bro. So if somebody is trying to push you to do something evil, whether that's your friends or anybody, don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Value your relationship with God above all of these things, bro. You're that's the most important thing, a relationship with God, bro. Right? Don't ever lower your values to fit the standards of others, to fit the evil standards of others, right? Be loyal to God. Do not try to fit in with people who do not serve God, who do not, who seek to please their flesh, who do not seek to please God. Stop trying to please other people, bro, right? Because let me just say, bro, that nothing is more important than your relationship with God. And Paul's making it clear that that if he was still trying to please people, that he would not be a servant of Christ. And that's something too, right? And stuff as well too. I tried to please people before as well too and stuff, right? Which isn't right, which isn't right too. And a lot of us have tried to do this before as well too. We try to, please people and stuff as well. But you understand, the more you just walk with God and grow with God, you just understand that his approval matters, bro. His approval matters. And when you grow with God and get close to him, you realize that your relationship with God, bro, is the best thing, and it matters more to you than all the things in this world, bro. Like I value my relationship with God. My relationship with God is so important. But let me just say that if somebody's trying to get you to sin, do not go and sin. If somebody is trying, right? If you have to do sinful and evil things to be around that friend group or to be around that group of people, whatever it is, if you have to do something sinful just to hang out with them or talk to them, those are not your friends, bro. If somebody's leading you to sin, that's not your friend. But somebody who leads you to God, that's a friend that you should keep in your life, bro. But let me just say, stop trying to please people. Stop trying to please people, right? Stop trying to please people, right? Do not try to please people. Please God, because that's what's most important, right? It's what makes God happy, not what makes, others, happy. It's not about what pleases others. It's about what pleases God. So if anybody is trying to make you sin, bro, right? If somebody's trying to make you sin so that you can please them and be around them, right, and stuff, don't do it, bro. Right? Do not do it. Remember, your relationship with God is the most important thing. Paul is making it clear in the scripture in Galatians 1:10 that if he was still trying to seek the approval of people, he would not be a servant of Christ. On this walk with God, you will understand that you will understand that God's opinion, God's approval, what God thinks is much more important, bro. If somebody's leading you to sin, if somebody wants you to sin, right, and stuff, if they're leading you to sin, bro, that's not somebody you should keep in your life, bro. Right? That's not somebody you should keep in your life, bro. A lot of us teens, we try to, do these things so we can, fit in with the cool kids, right? With the cool kids. But the true cool kids, bro, are, the people who, center God in their lives, who walk with God and who fear God and who seek to please God, not the people who seek to please their own fleshly desires, bro. You know what I mean? So remember, just main point I'm trying to get out is if somebody's trying to cause you to sin, if somebody's leading you to sin, right? If you have to sin, right, so that you can be able to please those people, right? To please those friends, right? Or you have to sin to be around them, right? Those are not your friends, bro, right? Nothing is more important than your relationship with God. If something is leading you further away from God instead of closer towards him, that's something that you should bring out of your life. This is in the book of Matthew 2. If your right hand causes you to sin, right, cut it off, right? It is better to enter heaven with one arm than to enter hell with two arms. And when Jesus said this, he wasn't meaning like actually cut off your hand. He was using metaphor. So basically, if somebody is leading you to sin, if that friend group is, causing you to sin just so you can please them, bro, right? Those are friends that you should cut out of your life. Those are friends you should not keep into your life, right? We got to get out of this mindset of trying to please people because no other opinion matters more than God. It's what God thinks, bro, right? It's what God thinks. Stop trying to be a pleaser of men and be a pleaser of God, because pleasing God is what's truly important. 1 Corinthians 15:33, bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good morals, bro, right? Bad company can corrupt good morals. It's important to keep in mind who you hang around, right? It's good to hang around those who are like-minded. So what I'm trying to say is seek to please God, not to please other people. Walk with those who are like-minded believers and who fear God, right? Because they will help you continue to grow a stronger relationship with God, right? Do not hang around people who, don't hang around people who, lead you to sin so that you can please them, right? Which is really wrong, right? So walk with the wise, bro. Walk with the wise. Do not walk with those who lead you to sin, right? So what I'm trying to say is don't try to please people because no other people's opinion matters more than God. God's approval is what matters. If you have to do all these sinful things to try to get somebody's approval, bro, no, bro, right? Only God's approval matters. So that's something I wanted to talk about today as well. I covered Galatians 1:10. I covered the meaning of that as well. And I also talked about, and I also talked about, being pleasers of God rather than pleasers of people and hanging around like-minded believers instead of those who lead you to sin, right? So I covered some great things, and I just hope that you guys, have been blessed by this video, right? And stuff as well too, and stuff. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.